Well, I managed to go out and gather quite a bit of material. I think it's going to be enough to at least get a really good start on putting this together. Probably need to work on moving these guys. Two of these guys aren't even bound. This guy is my mending. Here we go. In this scenario, I can still talk to them, but mobs can't get to them, right? No baby zombies. So my intention for this video was to kind of go through the building process, and I know to this point I haven't really talked about myself, other than, I haven't played in a while. I do know that first episode was a little inconvenient because I did do a lot of talking during that first episode, but I had to cut most of the audio. I just gave you guys a play-by-play, more or less what I had done or what I was working on. I think there was a brief clip that I managed to fit in there where I went over um, a past. Oh, oh wow, there's a lot of those. I guess I did just spend a bunch of days underground. I am gonna go for bed. There's a brief clip where I discussed how my last experience playing the game, and when I was on a SMP server briefly. If I got a little more in depth into that, I was on that SMP server for maybe a couple weeks, because they had let me join. These guys are so loud. The hostile friendly mobs, hostile mobs. I'll turn those down. Maybe it's my headset's turned up too. Let's turn that down. I was only on that server for a couple weeks, and when they had invited me, they had already been going for a little while. I didn't think they had been going for really that long, just because of like where they were in the world. A lot of them, they had diamond netherite gear. They had they hadn't even built like a spawn town. Many of them didn't have houses. Did I have that right? Am I losing my mind? I did have that right. Those are supposed to stick out like that. Two, stick out, one, two, three, stick out, one, two, three, stick out, two, three. Okay. Most people didn't have bases. They had like little areas where they had chests or they had farms up. I didn't know too much about most of the different farms at that time. I kind of looked into that when I started my own single player world. There was some fun stuff where some people they put together like games. We played a like a fortress defense style, like a Rainbow Six Siege fortress defense. There was a house, and there were people who were designated as attackers. There were people who were designated as defenders, and then they had to like get in there and like steal a diamond block, I think. Wrong block. Which that was a lot of fun when I did do that. But aside from that, there was really nothing else that the server did as a community. How does that look? I know it's kind of hard to envision without more continuation and like the slanted roof, but I think that would work great interior. Don't know about exterior. I think I'll build off of this, and then if I need to go through and replace them, I can do that. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do here with this. I have a few reference pictures that I have that I was gonna go off of. I want it more narrow. I want it to like cut across to there rather than there. I'm at a point to where, I mean, it takes me, I would say it takes me almost equal amount of time to edit versus the amount of actual footage that I get. Some people just they don't realize how much. I mean, I don't even do complex editing, so some of these editing people who can do crazy big things are really interesting, really talented people. People who earn a living off of editing videos. I'll never understand. Um, it must be a passion at that point to want to do it for a living. For me, it's more along like the means to the end. I want to play games. I want to talk with people. I want to explain things that I'm doing. Um, for anyone who doesn't know what all goes into video editing, what all goes into recording videos, that first, like, I think it was around 28 minutes, that first video that I put out for this channel, I did cut it down a little bit more than I wanted to, just because there was some content in there that didn't really translate over. But for that 28 minutes, it took about that 6 hours or so, maybe even closer to 8 by the end of it. 8 hours worth of footage that I kind of chopped down into about 28 minutes. Raid Farm, I didn't really record that. I mean, it took me probably about 20 minutes. That'll probably be real quick. But yeah, that mob farm out there took probably a couple hours, I think. And that's gonna get chopped down to like a 5 minute video probably. At this point I haven't done it yet. Sorry, I'm doing this wrong. Oops, and down I go. Um, but I'm at the point that I could probably take around, 6 to 8 hours worth of footage and edit it down into a quick like 30-minute video. Which 30 is kind of pushing the size I want to be making. All honesty, I wish that I could live stream, but my internet doesn't allow it. I think I'm gonna like might get rid of that top stair there. So let me think real quick on the first time I ever played the game. Um, which among other games, I do play a lot of other different games. Mostly single player or optional multiplayer style games. I started playing Minecraft. Let me do some math real quick. Probably about 12 years ago. So 2013. Yeah, maybe about 2012, 2013, about 12 or 13 years ago. Um, I was in school still, and what it was is there was a computer lab that we could go to during our breaks and during lunch. Had, gosh, had like 4 or 5 rows of like 10 computers, so probably had about 50 computers in it. and there was a whole bunch of us students there that we would get together in the mornings when it was open, and then at lunchtime when it was open. And after eating our lunch, we would go in there and then we would play. And at the time, there was no like Minecraft launcher. There was no Minecraft download. It was like you went to, in my opinion, a sketchy website. You punched in the login information, and then it logged you in, and then you could launch the game from like your browser. And at the time, if you logged in with someone's account, someone who had an account, and then you were to like log out, you could put in a different name, and then you could log in again. You could have like as many people as you want logged in underneath that same account, but they would just all have different names. So we had all we it was a whole group of us, and then on top of that, since we were all on the same network, we could create a LAN um, world, and a whole bunch of us could all play together. That was the first time I ever got into the game. Among that, we also did Roblox was a big one that we would play a lot, and that was another similar, like you could play it off your browser. You didn't have to have any, and with that one, I'm pretty sure it was free to play. Pretty sure it still is. I actually don't know. I haven't played it in many years. The last time I played it was on console, and because a friend of mine really wanted to. But it had a lasting impression on me. And then I remember I had used that same kid's login information. I logged in on really old laptop that my parents had that they would let me use. And I remember playing the game. I was probably playing the game on, if I was lucky, probably 15 frames a second. And then I had gotten into at the time you could there was a website you could go to and you could log in on it was Techit and Hexit, which were big mod pack versions of Minecraft. And those were a lot of fun to play, especially with a bunch of different people. But I wasn't able to actually get in and do that. But I had logged into that kid's information there at home, and I had left the laptop plugged in and running for days on end, maybe even weeks if I remember, just so I could save the login because he had gone through and changed his password. But as long as I stayed logged in, gosh dang it, as long as I stayed logged in, it wouldn't kick me off when he tried to log in elsewhere. Now, whether or not that didn't let him log in, I don't know. I actually don't know. And there are times I think back on that and feel almost bad. Like I think I basically bogarted his Minecraft account for weeks, and he wasn't even able to play it. And he had gone through and bought the game officially. Now, from there, just after I had, lost access to that one guy's account and I had stopped playing, I really, really wanted to keep playing it. And at that point in time, I had just gotten it was a hand-me-down Xbox 360 from a family friend-ish. It's kind of like it was the significant other of a relative. Kind of some bad blood there, so I'm not going to go into detail about it. But he had given me a hand-me-down Xbox 360. It's almost the same version as the one that my family had shared. And it had I think it was at the time, 32 gigabyte, which was pretty massive. You could fit just about every game you wanted to on the 32 gigabyte drive. That's when I decided to get Minecraft on console, which just to remind you, it was not the Bedrock version of Minecraft at that time. It was still it was still owned by the same company. This is before they had gone through and Microsoft had bought out and created the difference, the Bedrock versus the Java edition game. So I had played the Xbox 360 version of Minecraft for quite a long time. Definitely enjoyed that one. Played several hundred hours in there. Multiple worlds, multiple creative worlds. Spending a lot of time learning about the game. That was the first time that they had any form of tutorial on the game. Some people might remember the reference when they see the picture of the tutorial world from the console version. You do block, then you do upside down, side up, block, then you run out of stairs. At this time, I want to say that some of the most popular Minecraft, one of those most popular Minecraft YouTubers were Sky Does Minecraft. I know I remember watching him often. The very first person I ever watched a Minecraft video on was Ethos Lab, which I have to say I am still a massive fan. Still probably one of my favorite YouTubers. Just because of the energy he brings and how he enjoys the game, and he tackles it very much like a fun science project, which is definitely interesting. So that's how I spent most of my time playing all my games around that time, all the way up through probably 2017-ish, I think, is when I finally got my first computer. I think I just saw something. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was probably about 2017 when I had gotten my first computer and I had started playing more computer-based games, got Steam, started at that point in time I had my own form of income. I decided to, purchase my own things. Um, that is around, I think it was around 2015 or 16, I did transition to, oh gosh, I can't remember. It's right around when the Xbox One was getting popular and I had gone up to the next version. I had gotten a Halo 5 edition Xbox One, which I still have to this day. It's actually pretty cool. The start sound isn't like the beeping sound that you get with the current Xbox One. It's the sound of what's the name of the weapon? The sword, the energy sword. The sound of the energy sword opening and closing is the on and off sound. I think it's still very cool. After switching to Xbox One, I continued to play Minecraft on Xbox One for quite a while until I got my own PC, and then eventually I did almost get the PC version of Minecraft pretty early on. I had actually gone on the website. I had gone through all the steps. What's going on here? What? This doesn't look right. That looks better. We've gone through all the steps. Put in our information on purchasing it, and then it just never happened. And I mean the payment we chose didn't get charged, so it's not like we got robbed. But at that point, I just kind of gave up. I'm like, well, this is stupid. And I just kept playing my Xbox version. think I'm gonna build this side first, before that side. I feel like I can back away and get a better view without having to clear some stuff out. So I'll need another like half stack of these chiseled blocks. I also need to take this out right here. Okay. I think that gives me a good idea of doing the front there. Four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, everybody, I think I'm gonna stop there on the build for today. It was kind of just like a me rambling on, talking about different things while building, half building. It's kind of like me talking between building because my little brain can't manage to focus on more than one thing at a time. This is where we're at with it, though. That roof is not complete, by the way. There's going to be like an upper area that I'm going to build into it. It is going to look rather nice, I hope. And I think compared to some of this auto-generated stuff, it'll probably be a lot better. And I'm kind of following a theme, which is something that I'm not very good with. But it is late at night, and I'm beginning to get tired. So I will have to continue building this tomorrow. I'm sure I'll give you guys some updates, but I doubt I'll sit there and talk with you while I do it. Thank you for watching.